Okay, so you should probably know these 7 semi-passive income ideas if you want to generate wealth throughout your lifetime. In the book Rich Habits, the writer Tom Corley studied how self-made millionaires generated their wealth, and he found out the following. 65% of millionaires had 3 sources of income, 45% of millionaires had 4 sources of income, and 29% of millionaires had more than 5 sources of income. So there's certainly a common theme there between your average millionaire versus your average person, and that is the number of sources of income that they have. So today I thought I would share with you guys 7 semi-passive income ideas that you could look to implement within your own life in order to help you achieve that millionaire status. Now, the reason why semi-passive or passive income is such an important topic to talk about is because so many people spend their whole life trading their time for money. And when time is the biggest commodity that we have in our life, we need to figure out a way to package up all of our time and effort and continue to monetize it again and again and again.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Let me elaborate with some more specific examples, starting off with the first semi-passive income stream, which is dividend income. The richest 10% of Americans own 89% of all US stocks. And of those stocks in the S&P 500, well over 80% of those actually pay dividends to shareholders. So from that, we can certainly conclude that rich people invest in stocks that pay them money. But how exactly do you do it, and how does it work? Well, firstly, you need to identify a company that actually pays a dividend. You can go onto websites like Yahoo Finance, search for a blue chip stock like Coca-Cola, and you can see something called a dividend yield, which for Coca-Cola is 3.09%. This yield shows how much you earn in dividend payouts per year for every dollar or pound invested in a stock. It's almost like a reward payment for shareholders, where essentially a company shares a portion of their profits to investors. Now with Coca-Cola stock, the dividend is paid on a quarterly basis, meaning if for example you had $10,000 invested, you'd get $309 per year in dividends, the equivalent to $77.25 per quarter. Pretty cool to receive a portion of the profits for a business that you don't even have to work for. But the real power in dividend investing is where you actually reinvest those dividends back into more shares within the company, because that triggers something called the compound effect, which exponentially grows your money over time. Warren Buffett recently showed an amazing example of this in his recent shareholder letter, where he shares that his original investment within Coca-Cola stock actually provided dividends of $75 million in 1994. But today that annual dividend is actually valued at over $700 million per year. Now, as of right now, I don't own a huge amount of dividend-paying companies within my own personal investment portfolio. But from my investments in largely the S&P 500 and a couple of dividend-yielding stocks, I actually make £411.38 per year. And just for context, that's from a portfolio value of 40,332 quid, which is a yield of roughly about 1%. So if I reposition some of my holdings in my portfolio, I could quite easily 2 or 3x my annual dividend amount. The second passive income stream that you could look to do is affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing is where you take a great product or service that somebody else has developed and you actually sell that product or service on their behalf and take a cut of the revenue. Now, there are absolutely tons of ways to make money through affiliate marketing, either through a dedicated affiliate marketing platform like ClickBank, where you can sign up, select a product of your choosing, and then it's your job to advertise that product by any means that you see fit. It's almost like a business in a box, absolutely ready to go. All you need to know is a little bit about online marketing, and some YouTubers like Liam James K make an absolute fortune just from affiliate marketing alone. Or the other way is, if you have a social media presence already, is to actually share and showcase different products to your audience that you think that they'll find value in. Now, I personally think the best platforms for this right now are YouTube and TikTok.
This watch is from the future. It uses magnets to move the balls so you can tell the time.
If you can build an audience in the thousands, tens of thousands, perhaps even in the millions, then you have a huge opportunity to generate an income from essentially the relationship that you have with your community. And let me just say this, it shouldn't just be transactional, and it certainly shouldn't be just for you being the sole beneficiary as the creator. It should almost benefit your audience just as much as it benefits you. In my case, most of the links that I have down in the description of most of my videos are affiliate links. So of course it's a win for my audience, but a win for me too.
Wow, winning.
Now, from my total affiliate revenue just from this YouTube channel, I've actually generated this past month £3,165, which of course I can only thank you guys for watching these videos and obviously clicking on the links down in the description below. Passive income stream number 3 is to invest in property. In the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki shares a story that Rich Dad advocates the BRRRR strategy, which stands for buy, refurbish, rent, refinance, and repeat. It's one of the ways that Robert Kiyosaki himself generated a net worth of over $100 million. It's a good old-fashioned property investment strategy that maximizes your investment returns along with your income too.
Nice.
And here's how you do it. You buy a property below market value that's in generally poor condition. You get some builders in or renovate the property yourself to add value to it. You get that property rented out to some tenants, which starts the positive cash flow process. Probably 200 or 300 quid a month in net cash flow depending on the deal that you've made. Thereafter, you go back to the bank having had it valued again based on all of the renovations that you've done, and instead of the 150 grand you bought it for after doing £25,000 worth of renovation, the property today is worth £190,000, meaning that you deduct your old property value and your renovation cost for your refinance valuation of £190,000, and you're able to pull out of that deal £15,000 in order to rinse and repeat the process. And of course, that is a hypothetical example, but it is certainly achievable. It's certainly something that I wanted to get into last year, but just wasn't able to because life just took over. However, this year it is 100% something that I will be getting into myself personally and documenting on this channel in order to generate me some further passive income and redistribute funds into a different asset class. So if you want to see videos of that journey, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. Number 4, we've got online courses. The online education market is set to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 9.49% from 2022 to 2027, the equivalent to an additional value of $148.2 billion. That's a lot of money that people are prepared to pay for online education. But why would you become an online educator? You might not have trained to become a classroom teacher, so why would you do it online? Well, it is without doubt one of the very best ways to package up your work, package up your time, package up your knowledge, and resell that knowledge again and again.
Knowledge.
So be sure to share that specific skill or knowledge that you've acquired over time, perhaps from your professional job or perhaps from just an interest that you have outside of work. Build out a course or some kind of program and then put it on one of these ready-made teaching platforms like Udemy or Skillshare. One of the best and one of the most successful creators in the UK, Ali Abdaal, actually has his own online courses over on Skillshare where he's generated over $2 million. In this video, he explains how he spent just a day filming the course. He then paid a freelance editor to edit it over the next couple of days. He made some finishing touches at the end and then was able to sell it for an absolute fortune. Now, I've recently launched my own stock market investing course over on Udemy, which is a beginner-friendly program to take you through quite methodically a step-by-step process of how to become an investor. From building the right foundations through to understanding how markets work, analyzing financial statements and reports, and building and managing your own investment portfolio. So absolutely shameless plug, but if you do want to check it out, then there will be a link down in the description below. Number 5 is YouTube ad revenue. I scrolled through lots of different YouTube channels that revealed their earnings, and some of the results are absolutely crazy, especially in the finance niche. Graham Stephan, who is arguably one of the biggest and most successful finance YouTubers, gets hundreds of thousands of views a day, which actually translates into 4 and 5 figures per day depending on view rates. And of course, this is obviously one of the top creators on the platform. But let me just say this, as a very small finance channel on the platform with about 32,000 subscribers, you can still make a fairly modest income just from ad revenue alone. And that's because advertisers are prepared to pay more to get in front of an audience that could potentially be interested in financial products. Here are the ad rates for some of the highest paying niches right the way down to the lowest paying niches. So how much money do I make that's actually passive? Well, admittedly, to begin with, it's obviously not passive at all. You have to do that little bit of work up front, perhaps 6, 7, 8 hours that it takes to actually create and edit and upload a YouTube video, but once it's uploaded onto the platform and if it hits the YouTube algorithm, then you'll get paid for it over and over again. Here's the best paid video that I currently have on the channel, which is maybe over £4,000 in revenue. And as you can see, it continues to pay me every single day, even though the video is a couple of years old. And of course, I don't make £4,000 a video, and some videos have a shelf life. While some of them may run for many, many years, other videos are dead within a week. But I guess the more videos that I can make that are of a high quality, the higher the chance that I have to retain that passive income that those videos generate. So if you can crack the YouTube algorithm, which is certainly something I'm still trying to figure out, then it can definitely be lucrative. Number 6, we've got high yield savings accounts. You'll never be rich from investing in a savings account, but it's important that for whatever savings that you do have, that the money is maximized in terms of interest. And now with central bank rates going up, the interest rates being passed on to savers are the highest that they've been for over a decade. So if you're a saver right now, perhaps saving up a deposit for a house, saving a little bit of spare cash for retirement, whatever it may be, now is a good time to maximize your passive income via interest payments. And there are a handful of good options out there. First one being Chase Bank, which is one that I personally use. It's an easy access saver account which gives you 3% interest on all deposits up to £250,000. So if you've got 10 grand saved in the account, that's £25 a month in interest. However, if you do want to go down the route of having a fixed saver account, well, there are a couple of good options out there. Firstly, you've got Halifax, which have a 1-year fixed saver where they pay 4% interest. Then you've got Lloyds, who offer a 1-year fixed rate bond which pays 3.9% interest. They're probably the best of the high street bank offerings that I can certainly see at the moment. There are a few other better options out there, but they're from banks that I've never heard of before, so because of that, I'm certainly not going to advertise them on this channel. Then finally, we've got the Wildcard, which is investing in farmland. Bill Gates is the largest owner of farmland in the US, owning approximately 268,000 acres for an estimated value of $690 million. But why is the likes of Bill Gates and other super rich investors buying farmland?
I have absolutely no clue.
Well, one of the main reasons comes down to bigger macro changes. There is, as you guys all know, a lot of change going on in the world right now. When we think about climate change, fossil fuels, food supply and production, along with the diets that we have too. And new technologies are currently being developed to make the land that we farm on more sustainable. With the development of new agricultural technology, we've got things like super productive seeds, sustainable biofuels, and super crops. This combats so many issues such as climate change affecting the quality of a harvest, the reality that the world is running out of oil, and that people simply want more plant-based diets. And with that, land values are soaring and the potential for higher income yields are soaring too. In the UK, Savills have actually forecasted a total return, which is net income yield plus capital growth, of 8.8% annually for low-grade livestock land. That's a return that's certainly on par with stock market returns. But how do you invest in farmland? Well, you either buy the land itself for a couple of million quid and lease it to a farmer. Or you look to invest in something like a farmland fund, where companies like Acre Trade offer the ability to invest in individual farmland, where you can expect annual income yields to come from collected rents from farmers of that land, along with a capital return too from the increase in value of that land as well. Kind of works like a dividend paying stock, but instead of investing into a company, you're investing into a plot of land instead. So they are 7 semi-passive income streams that you can look to adopt in order to either diversify your investment portfolio and increase your income too. Now, if you want to stick around, then YouTube recommends that you click on that video next. But before you go, be sure to subscribe on your way out. With that being said, I'll see you over in the next one.